Usually I talk about politics a lot. One thing that I don't talk about is individuals. I don't talk about individuals. Whether Michael Jackson, Ramaphosa, Jacob Zuma. No, I don't do that. I don't like talking individuals. But anyway, when it comes to politics, I think that I'm at a tail end, you know, because South Africans have voted and they know who their leaders are. And for me, talking about politics and the abnormalities, I feel that it's a futile exercise because, South Africans, they will always vote for the best leaders of their choice. So who am I to try to influence them? Who am I? I have never voted myself. So let those who vote be concerned about their masters. They wanted masters, so they've chosen masters. But under the current dispensation, I don't think that things will change, especially where we are governed by lobbyist multinationals, few families up there, the super rich. Those guys, they influence policy. They influence policy via global bodies, such as UN, United Nations, UNESCO, WHO, all these organizations, they are not there to serve the interests of the people, but, serving the interests of a few elite on top of the food chain there, on top of the pyramid. But anyway, yeah, issues like xenophobia, immigration, open borders, I've expressed a view on that, about open borders or porous borders. So I think that, South Africans, let them deal with open borders, because they voted the very same people who opened borders. But anyway, the issue that has not been touched the most, especially in these elections or elections across the globe, the issue of women. To be honest, it is very hard to be a woman in the 21st century. It was never easy, even back then, from time immemorial, women were oppressed. But in the 21st century, it's even tough because we live in democracies or pseudo-democracies where people, claim to be free, but women are not free. They are raped, they are chased, they are battered, they are, brutalized every day. And yet politicians don't talk about that, or they don't place that on top of their agenda, the issue of women. You look at many parliaments across Africa, in Europe, in America, the majority are men, determining issues that affect women, be it birth control, be it abortion, all those issues, food security, affects mostly women because women are nurturers, life givers. But you've got men talking about these issues to the exclusion of women. It's very tough to be a woman or a woman in the 21st century. It's very, very, very tough, Our mothers, our children, sisters, cousins, they are not safe. When they're driving at night, they're not safe. In this world, that preaches free market. How can there be a free market when women are not free? They cannot drive at night from work. They cannot drive their children in open parks because they're brutalized. At home, intruders come in, violate them, their bodies, their partners. I grew up in a society, which undermined women. I can tell you for sure, most women who were teenagers in the 80s, 70s, and back then, they did not lose their virginity through consent. It was always forced, forced consent. Consent was forced out of them. As sakhula samajita, amakhotman wakutshela ukuthi akudinsa shaya impama, then speak and frostan. In today's terms, that is rape. So sikhule kanjalo ke, bathi shaya impama. So you might find that I have never raped, but I have emotionally raped. Knowingly or unknowingly, And I think that when I say I speak across the board, for men in general, most of the time we abuse these women emotionally, physically, knowingly or unknowingly so, because the issue of women is not on the top of the agenda. And I think that it is so wrong. It is so wrong. I mean, you look at DRC, women raped by soldiers. It doesn't matter whether it's government soldiers or terrorists. If they see soldiers, they must just run because they're not safe. They see police in these countries, war-torn countries, they must just run because there is no safety. Whether they run to the left or right is the same. They run to government police officers, they get raped. They run, towards the rebel forces, they get raped. There is United Nations peacemakers, they rape women, they violate them. Some they give food for sex, in these drought-ridden countries where there's poverty. Imagine that in the midst of poverty, here's someone from Europe or highly affluent country working for United Nations. Instead of giving food to this poor woman who's going to feed her children, they want sexual favors. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? I think that, our countries should be in a state of emergency. The issue of women is not addressed. It's not addressed. I'm telling you, if they can reveal the true statistics about rape, in the liberation armies, in the ANC, the PAC, AZAPO, Exile, women were raped. A silent torture, a Cold War. I think even a Cold War was better. This is very barbaric. I think as men, we need to change. You need to put the issue of women, because in every woman, I don't know, according to biologists, they say with chromosomes, I don't know whether it's 24 and 24 female, 24 male, 48, making us, complete. But in every man, there is a woman. As much as in every woman, there is a man. But it is the woman that faces a Holocaust like no other. I think as a society, we need to change. We need to change that because it sucks. It sucks that our women folk, are brutalized every day, are sexually assaulted every day. Children, they're not safe. In churches, the same. Preachers abuse women, teachers, schools, rape women, work, sexual harassment. Women have been dismissed for speaking out. Yeah, we need to change.